Hey traders, John Howell here. Welcome to today's weekend market update for you. So right now for me, it's really early Sunday morning, and I've just been doing some analysis and looking at the markets because I'm always looking to prepare myself for these markets. And I've just come across a really interesting pattern that I want to share with you that may give us a bit of a gauge on what's happening right now on a technical level, and if certain things happen in the markets, what we could expect from the markets as well too. So something that happened back in 1999 is pretty much spot on to what's happening right now as well too. So let me share with you what I'm seeing here right now. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let me share what I'm seeing right here, right now. Traders, if you haven't done so yet, grab that. I'm giving away free access to my trading course. So if you just go to johnsfreegift.com, JOHNS, freegift.com, go over there. Once you put your email address in, on the very next page, you'll get instant access to that trading course. And if you want to upgrade, you can upgrade. And if you want to join my coaching program for 1 year for me to coach you personally, then just email me and I can talk to you and see if you're a good fit for that. But if you just want some free help, then just go get that free access to the trading course. Now, here's the really interesting thing that I'm noticing right now. I've always seen in my mind a massive move up to end this incredible bull market that we've been in. Yeah, we had a bit of a dip, a few years ago when it come to the Rona situation, to the vid situation. But I've always been in the camp of, okay, I'm seeing in my mind that this is not the end, right? I'm seeing in my mind that this is not the end of what's going on right now. I see that there's a lot more upside. I may be wrong here, right? But and so that's always what I'm seeing. But I'm seeing this from a mechanism point, from a mechanic point of view, as in like the levers that are pulling these pulling and pushing these markets around, is what I'm seeing. Now, I'm always overlaying that with simple technical analysis, right? So if I'll get to this chart to the left here in just a minute. This is the 1999 chart, but I'm always overlaying my the mechanics of what I'm seeing, which is continued upward movement, with simple trend analysis, right? If we have a look at this here, this is a weekly chart of the Nasdaq today, okay? Again, I'll get to 1999, which is this chart here in a minute. But if we just simply overlay higher lows, look at this here, higher low, higher low, higher low. This is a weekly chart, remember, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of a pullback, and then we go for another move, right? Pull back, go for another move. Pull back, well, guess what? We're probably going to go for another move. So if we can just, and that's where, if you watch my videos, I always am a very big believer in the trend, right? And if you guys, from my private coaching clients, in our system, rule number 1 is trend analysis, because it's always, we want to make sure we're trading with this trend, especially the higher time frame trend, because the market can fake you out so much, just like it's doing right now, and just like it even did back here, right? Every time we get these pullbacks, we get a pullback but low, and then it makes another high low, and we go for another run, and it pulls back for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, for a whole month, and you think, oh, this is the top, it's going to start to crash because it's pulling back. But again, what happens? Rip, and goes down. Now again, this doesn't continue on all the time, but rule number 1 is the trend. And as you can see, majority of the time, if we get a higher low breaking past previous highs, there's a higher probability we're going to get a continuation. Higher low, break past previous highs. It didn't continue, but it came down, created another higher low. Once it broke past previous highs, we got a continuation. Higher low, broke past previous highs, continuation. So if we have a higher low and we break past previous highs, there's a high probability, as you can see, this one had a run on when it broke past higher low, broke past previous highs. This one didn't, but it didn't actually make it, just came down, made a higher low, run on, and so on and so forth. So I'm always looking at trend analysis. So it's important for you traders, no matter what we're looking at here, if you're looking at any market, any stock, always ask yourself, where are we in? Now that's just one gauge, one gauge that I use. the thing is that, remember, the market is also like an elastic band as well too. So if we actually look at 1999 as an elastic band, notice how we've actually had very nice stair stepping. Once we start to go vertical like this here, that's when you're probably going to get sharp pullbacks. We got that back in, if I go back to the, let me just auto arrange this. It was back when, it was back when Trump was getting elected, right? So we started to get, you can see how we started to get some really big volatility, but we actually had some very, very, very nice moves to the upside. So that's obviously a bit of a background, guys, of what I'm seeing through here. Okay, so no matter what chart you're looking at, and no matter what market, whether it's a crypto market, they all operate the same way. Okay, and so I always be looking at, if you're trying to understand what's going on in the markets, bring it back to a larger picture, just like the Nasdaq here on the chart here, and say, okay, what's really going on? And then firstly, we can just simply bring up some simple trend analysis and so on and so forth. But one thing I was doing just recently, I'm like, okay, then this is really an interesting period that we're going through here. And let me actually bring this back here, right? Notice this back here. Let me actually bring this here. It's just so fascinating, right? That again, nothing is new in the markets, really. If you actually, nothing is new in the markets, and that's where like a lot of my training and a lot of my education is built on. Let me show you this. So if you go to my channel and you go to my community tab here, you'll see that I said I believe reading a really good book is one of the greatest joys in life. These are my new books that arrived today, and there's nothing like laying down and reading a good book, getting into it, and so on and so forth. But here's a few things here, right? I got Ray Dalio's, understanding what's happening right now when it comes to nations, man's search for meaning. I've heard Tony Robbins talk about that for a long time, but I've just got it now, and I'm only really like a few pages in, and it's like, wow, I'm starting to get really, really, really touched by this book more than a lot of books out there, and I'm not even halfway through it yet. And then Fear, this is a four-letter word. This is $1 million listing, Tracy Tudor. I respect her a lot. So anyway, I'm always trying to learn from there, right? But also when it comes to the markets, that's why markets really, repeat. They don't do the exact same things, but they rhyme. There's a rhyme to the patterns, okay? Certain things happen at certain times in past and histories and so on and so forth. And therefore, certain things happen. So if we have a look at the Nasdaq back here in 1999, right? Look what happened here. Big move up. But look what happened. Big move up, and then we started the stair step, didn't we? So if we have a look at this here, if we have a look, look what's happening here. So we had a stair step, and then, as you can see, we went for a run first. I'm just going to draw that through there. We went for a run first, and then we started the stair step in a stair step fashion to the upside. Notice that through there? Notice what is happening here as well too, like right now as of today. We can see that we had the run up. So we had the first pole run up, which is this, remember, run up, stair step into a channel. Run up. Look what's happening here. Look at this here right now. Isn't this just I'm like a little kid, guys, when it comes to these markets. I guess it's something that you need to do when it comes to your trading, right? You actually need to like this stuff. And if you don't, then you're not going to become good at it. If you're just here to make money, but you actually don't even like trading, you're never going to do well, because you're never going to do certain things like this, right? So look at this here. So if I bring these side by side, look how similar. 1999, right? We had a big move up. We had a big move up in 1998, and then 1999. Big move up in 1998. Big move up in 2020. Channel in 1999. Channel in 2021. Now the interesting thing is this, right, look at this here. As soon as we break out of this said channel right here, As you can see, look at that there. See that breakout? See it started to break out of this channel after all this time, and then it breaks out. What does that mean? It means we're probably going to start to see some significant moves to the upside, like this here, right? Big move up. And that once the breakout happened, it lasted. Once the breakout happened, it only lasted like, what's that? 21 weeks. So what's 20 weeks? Brain's not working today. 4, 8, 16. So it only lasts 3 or 4 months to the upside, and then we started to see, the great crash and so on and so forth, right? But once again, look what's happening right now on the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, once again, channel had the move up, and we're going to the channel. So I wonder what happens when we start to really break out of this channel and we start to break up through here. I wonder where we're going from there. To me, it's a continuation of what I've always seen from these markets, and that's a very nice move to the upside. I believe we're going to get something like this through here. And if we have a look at, say, the S&P 500, right? Something really similar on the S&P 500. Not the exact same, but something similar. Firstly, we had what? We had a very strong move up. So we had a very strong move up in 2020. But look what's happening through here now, right? We're developing what? We're developing a bit of a channel. Right, look at the channel. Look at this channel that has been building in for all this time through there. Right, so we have that. We have the move up. We have the move up into the channel. Move up. We're now in some sort of a channel now. We've got the support there. We've got the resistance there. Once again, if we go back in time and we bring them side by side, you can see how this looks very similar to this as well too. And so now we're getting this sort of here. If I actually had to like draw the peaks and troughs and so on and so forth, it'd probably be somewhere through there. That's what I'd probably use something through there. That'd be the resistance that I'll be using. And let me actually just take that off the screen for a minute and see if I can find a channel based off that. There you go. That'll be the one that I use, right? So you can see, there we go. That's much better. You can see it's getting a lot of bounce through here as well too, and a lot of resistance through here. So we're getting this resistance. So once again, traders, this is a weekly chart, right? And this is the reason why when we get these pullbacks in these weekly charts, it's like, what's these pullbacks in these weekly charts? To me, once we start to reverse and we start to break up through here, we're probably likely to see this just incredible move. Now, how big actually was that? So from the breakout, a percent terms, like, what's that? 70% on the breakout. If we have a look at, if we just use the pole as a projection, right? So let's look at this here. So first step was identifying the pattern. Let's look at let's look at potentials, okay? Let's look at potentials, okay? If the Nasdaq did break out, where would a potential target be based off this pattern we've seen in the markets? So firstly, we identified this. So all I would do is, for a starters anyway, is I'm just going to copy and paste this exact same length, and I'm going to connect this up through to here, right? I'm not looking at the angle. I don't really care about the angle. I'm just looking at the actual, the length of this pole, and I'm just measuring up. And as you can see, right, it actually ran straight up for the first couple of months into this area through here, and then we had another move up. So if we're looking at a conservative target based off this pattern, now remember guys, this is weeks, okay? So this whole one bar here is 7 days. Some people just like, oh John, it broke out, but it hasn't run yet, and it's been like 1 day. It's like, come on guys, be patient, okay? Remember, this is 4 months of data, right? Just be patient. Otherwise, the market's going to take money from you and give it to me. So the thing is that we could see this move up. So that's actually, okay, that's actually a target that could happen. Let's actually use that exact same analysis on the Nasdaq. So And remember, guys, I'm just looking at potentials, all right? Potentials doesn't mean this is definitely going to happen, but always look at probabilities, okay? If the thing is, like, if we do start to break out through here above this channel, just like we did back in 1999, which is very, 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 very similar to what we're seeing right now, where would be a potential target for the Nasdaq? So if we go through to here, so I'm just gonna, again, this was the pole. First move up, so I'm gonna just use the pole, and if we did break out somewhere through here, right, let's just use that. We're talking about a 22,000 on the Nasdaq. Wow, isn't that incredible, right? It's like, because we're looking, and as you can see, traders, see what we're doing here now. What am I doing right now? I'm doing what? I'm removing. I'm not even talking about money here. I'm just looking at charts and just identifying patterns, right? It's like, oh, look at that. It's probably going to go there. Right? What happens is we start to place a trade, and then suddenly, like, all rational or reason just goes out the window. And then before what happens is we start to make a lot of mistakes based off that, right? But we're probably going to get to a 22,000 on the Nasdaq once we do start to break out of this said channel through here. Makes sense? So this channel that we're in right now, once we break out, we're probably going to see a move. So we're probably going to go through a pretty strong move. I would say the first half of next year is probably going to be pretty strong in the markets. If we apply the exact same analysis to the S&P 500, right? What do we have here? We have the pole, we have this G pole, move to the upside, and then we have this G channel, G pole, G channel, and then, because we talk about like blow off tops, right? This is really a blow off top, and then the market crashed. Right, and then we go through to here. If we use the exact same thing for the S&P 500, and we use G pole says 6,000 on the S&P 500, 6,000. Like, I know that sounds pretty crazy, but it's, again, guys, it's probabilities, right? Now, when you're talking about options here, guys, this is where the risk to reward, right? An option, if you bought a $600 option on the SPY and it ran there, your option will probably be up, what, 10,000, maybe 20,000% return, if that did happen. Now, again, guys, it's all based on probabilities. So remember, step one is what? We need to see the breakout first. And then step two is, where's it likely to go? Now, if we do get a continuation of a lot more, if we do get something similar like this, remember, this was the first target. It had a lot more to go. So this actually could be just bonkers, right? Just absolutely just bonkers. I wanted to see if, did it actually make, oh my goodness, it actually made double. It actually did too. So if I'm going to use this trend line here, it actually made this whole length through here, made double the pole. See what I just did there? So I just put the pole, I just connected them both, and double. What would double be for the S&P right now? I know this sounds crazy, guys. I know this sounds crazy, but don't shoot the messenger, right? What is double? Double. Isn't that just crazy, guys? That's double up there. Oh, that's never going to happen, John. Well, nothing's changed, Eddie. Remember I said before, trend is your friend. We're still technically in an upward trend. And the environment right now, maybe the start of next year is going to be just... What about the Nasdaq? What's double for the Nasdaq? Let's have a look at the Nasdaq, right? The double for the Nasdaq is... Oh, let's go back. There we go. Let's double the Nasdaq here for a minute. And then we're going to go to there. Double for the Nasdaq is almost 28,000 on the Nasdaq. It's a 60% move to the Nasdaq. What about the S&P? What was that type of move on the S&P? I know that sounds crazy, right? But guys, I guess that's what a blow off top's about, right? What do we got there? Yeah, 50%. And that's roughly what we got here anyway, right? That's roughly what we got here. When we broke out, we got, yeah, roughly, that was a 60%, an extra move to the upside. So I wouldn't rule this out, guys. I wouldn't rule, especially with the money printing and everything that's in the system right now. I wouldn't rule this move out at all. Now, I wouldn't be buying and holding the market right now for long term. I think the metals and the miners are much better long term. Okay, traders, long term. Long term means, a long term investment. When you buy a property, you don't buy a property and then want to flip it the next day, right? That's how you want. That's a long term investment. So there we go, traders. Just something that I want to share with you this weekend. This is the exact same pattern that I'm seeing together, and oh my goodness, if the projection is the exact same, get ready for one of those craziest moves we have ever seen. Hey traders, I'm giving away 100% free access to my brand new Breakthrough full trading course. This is 8 videos over 10 hours of pure amazing and powerful strategies. This is my most powerful systems and strategies that I've used for the last 16 years, and I'm giving it away for free. So this is what I want you to do right now. I want you to go to johnsfreegift.com, or there should be a link around here somewhere, a button or in the description or somewhere in there. Click on that and you can go get free access to my brand new Breakthrough trading course. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now. Go to that right now, guys. You can get full, complete, free membership access. Go do that right now.